welcome to another episode of Metal Monthly, where there is all new metal and no new metal.
Howdy, Banger fans. Blayne Smith welcoming you to another Metal Monthly Bangers Monthly look at what's happening in metal releases. Thanks for coming out. We appreciate it. You know, YouTube, like, comment, subscribe. Let's talk about some metal. As always, here's your calendar of the big releases coming out in the month before we get to my grimy underground picks. So, September 3rd, we have Carnifex releasing Graveside Confessions on Nuclear Blast. We've got Iron Maiden releasing Senjutsu on BMG. September 10th, Aborted is releasing Mania Cult on Century Media Records. Andrew WK is partying, and who's he partying with? The big man upstairs, because God is partying. That's coming out on Napalm. September 17th, we've got Alien Weaponry releasing Tangaroa on Napalm. Carcass is releasing Torn Arteries on Nuclear Blast. Spirit Box is releasing Eternal Blue on Rise. Then we get to September 24th, and we got a big split to kick things off. The Body and Big Brave are releasing Leaving None But Small Birds on Thrill Jockey. And hey, we're all pumped around here because Rivers of Nile is releasing The Work on Metal Blade. But that's the big stuff. Now, let's get to my favorite stuff. And we got, man, speaking of partying, we've got a party track to kick things off. Let's listen to Wraith, Undo the Chains on Redefining Darkness Records. It comes out September 24th, and you're gonna want a big red X your calendar for this one. Yes, we are kicking things off with some blackened thrash metal out of Indiana, featuring a great piece of cover art by Andrea Buzikov. And I'm going to mention the layout artist, Chris Petkus, because look at that drop shadow. That's the first time I've ever seen drop shadow and not hated it immediately, so I don't know who's responsible for that, but good job. I'm really pumped for this record, and I think you will be too. And why? Because, I mean, the only way I can really describe this as blackened power trip. Seriously, there's some real power trip-esque riffs going on, and the same with the choruses. You really want to chant along with them. But the vocals have a real black metal vibe over top of them, and we get a few more kind of like wild and crazy solos to go with it. This is a really cool record. I can't believe how fun this is. It's some fine fusion cuisine, my friends. They're also great about knowing exactly how long a song should be, and not just making all songs 3 minutes. A song's like 1.5 minutes. A song's 4 minutes. Whatever the song needs, that's what they do. And boy, self-editing is a hard thing to learn, and these guys have already nailed it. Are you having fun? Well, stop it, because we've got Laang, Xinteng, coming out on Talheim Records September 30th. This is gonna be a bummer. This is self-described terror black metal out of Taiwan. We've got a cover with jellyfish on it, and I love jellyfish. Jellyfish are hella cool. Read about some jellyfish. And I like the way there's a mix of the band logo in both languages, and it turns out this album cover is done by the guy who makes all the music because, you know, black metal dudes. So anyways, what does this actually sound like? Terror black metal, that doesn't necessarily tell you a lot. Well, I don't actually know if I've heard anything like this before. It's sort of an atmospheric black metal record, but it really has no interest in staying stuck in a genre when it doesn't want to, and that's in big part to the drums. They're very varied and not content to stick in a black metal rut of just plain blast beats. When he wants to wander around the kit, he does, and you know that's always gonna get me excited. And then the vocals are something you totally wouldn't expect. They really remind me of that specific Japanese hardcore vocal sound, and that's a weird fusion where I'm really sitting at the middle of a Venn diagram, and so this record's super amazing. And if you're wondering where the black metal comes from, the music of Laang tells of a horrifying experience of an afterlife while in a coma following the founder being shot in the head during a carjacking. This is a place beyond description of hell, mind-wrenching, desolate, and incomprehensible terror. What the fuck? That's just from their Bandcamp page. That is insane. This potentially could have been my #1 pick for the month, but that's a really dark way to start a video. Woo! All right, well, I think we're gonna need 2 palate cleanses in this video, so let's head on over to Portrait at One with None on Metal Blade Records. That's coming out September 3rd, which is, I guess, in the past, so you can listen to this whole thing, and you should, because it's very good. Palate cleanse time already with some Swedish heavy metal with a great painted cover and a nice logo with the colors accented to go with it. I always like to see that. Normally a band releasing their 4th album on Metal Blade would be pretty well known to me and kind of not really fit in this segment, but somehow this is my first time hearing Portrait, and oh boy, I'm already on board. They sound like a heavier Iron Maiden, thanks in big part to Per Lengstedt's wild vocal range. Dude has some pipes. He hits some notes and he holds them. I tell you what, let me imitate. No, you don't want me to do that. I'm always also gonna be shocked when a heavy metal band can put out a 9-minute song on an album that doesn't have me diving for the next track button. They can really take you over a journey in a song in a way that few bands can. And like I said, it has that perfect level of heavier heavy metal that's not gonna alienate heavy metal fans, but I think it can help get in some fans from metal's more extreme genres. So, you know, if you're not normally a heavy metal head, you still might want to check this out. Hey, speaking of heavier things, hey, let's get weird. Wharflurch, Psychedelic Realms of Hell. It's coming out on Personal Records and Gurgling Gore, depending on where you live, and it's coming out in the past. This one's also already out. Sometimes Tuesdays fall at a weird time. Don't hassle me, just enjoy this music. Here we've got some Floridian death metal that's like almost getting near Death Doom territory, but not quite. And the album cover is both hilarious and cool. I'm just not sure who it's by, I'm sorry, but really great job. And man, what a great month of super unique stuff. So this is for sure some grimy Florida death metal that sometimes hits death doom slowness, but it leaves me with a distinct flavor of death metal, so that's where I'm gonna firmly categorize it. But man, this is just a month of people doing things I complain about, but then doing them properly to show why I complain about them normally. So every song has an intro and an outro, and you know how I feel about those. But they all have like a slightly more alien John Carpenter vibe, and sometimes there's a spooky Domo Arigato Mr. Roboto voice over them, and they just add such flavor and atmosphere and character to the record. They were a massive risk, as they could have made this whole thing unlistenable, but they absolutely nailed them, and it really elevates the thing to be a kind of standalone record. And don't be fooled into thinking this is a joke or a novelty record either. While they certainly seem to have a sense of humor about everything, this is a legit record in all respects. They're not coasting by on a gimmick. Thus we come to our second palate cleanse of the month. It was a good month for heavy metal. But before that, a word from our sponsor. Our sponsor is you. You support us on Patreon. You toss us a couple bucks there, and it's great. We really appreciate it. It allows us to make this content without me having to take this opportunity to tell you what underwear to buy. So thanks. Toss us a couple bucks if you can, and if not, just, you know, keep on partying, man. Back to our program with Tentation's Le Berceau de Dieux on Gates of Hell Records, coming out September 24th. This is, of course, French heavy metal, Tentation being, you know, French for temptation, and I absolutely knew that the whole time, and if you come on my Twitch streams, twitch.tv/metalcomedy, where I research these, you would have seen me for sure know that and not make any jokes about the band name. So here we have cover art by Carlos Palma Cruchega, and damn, do I need to mention a second layout artist in one video, Annick Giraud, because that's a nice drop shadow too. And also, just a quick shout out, if you like this album cover and you're a merch fan, the band didn't just slap it on a t-shirt, they actually adapted it for t-shirts in 2 cool different ways. So hey, thanks for doing that for us. Let's talk about the music though, because this is some heavy metal and it's sung in not English, and there's just something about heavy metal sung in a different language that just hits so much differently. It just sounds so full of passion. This really sounds like some totally obscure, unheard of metal gem from the 80s that you just happened to take a chance on in a used record bin one day. Like all great heavy metal where they aren't singing in English, there is a song titled The Genre of Metal They Are Playing, and I love it. The track, of course, heavy metal. And they even managed to maintain the level of heaviness of the metal through a slow track, which, hey, again, normally I complain about those, but again, no complaints this month. Everybody's just doing things the way they're supposed to be done. Thank you so much. This is a trademark Metal Monthly palate cleanse right here. And so if you like the stuff I normally put in this spot, this should be an instant buy for you. So, hey, that's it. Thanks for coming out. As always, we encourage you to subscribe, like, and if you comment, you know I get down in the mix with you. Tell me what your favorite thing that's coming out this month is. What did you think of my picks? There's some good records on here. There's some weird records on here. So let's talk about them. Blayne Smith signing off.